Many pros have started spamming Trinity Force Viego, while Faker has a new secret build for Ahri that nobody else is playing. We'll be breaking down both those setups along with 8 more champs or builds that are sleeper OP for patch 12.4. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video or click the link in the description below. Alright, let's get started. Hullbreaker top lane meta is in full effect right now as the item has gained a ton of popularity on picks like Graves and Tryndamere. Not only is Trundle underrated as a top lane champion, but a Hullbreaker rush is being heavily slept on. Trundle is the absolute perfect champion to abuse Hullbreaker as his 1v1 and split push post 6 is amazing. If you're looking for a hard counter to the Smite top lane strat, then Trundle is the pick. Once you transition into Trinity Force, enemy towers will drop in an instant. Trundle Q applies damage to towers and is an auto reset. Factor in the Spellblade proc from Trinity Force combined with the bonus damage from Hullbreaker, and you can see why this build is so potent. Oh, and don't forget about Demolish and Runes. Trundle also fares extremely well into meta top laners like Aurelia, Jace, Tryndamere, and Fiora, which makes him that much more undervalued. Complete core build is a Hullbreaker rush into Trinity Force 2nd and Titanic Hydra 3rd. Roll with Lethal Tempo as the keystone, followed by Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Demolish and Bone Plating are the best secondaries. As a result of recent Gore Drinker nerfs, many champions are seeing better results with Stridebreaker. Renekton is one of them. Renekton players who build Stride are winning around 4% more than Gore Drinker users, which is pretty nuts. It's not just Stridebreaker that players are missing out on though, as too many Renekton players continue to build Steric's second. Death's Dance is the far superior second purchase after the 12.3 item changes. Steric's third item is viable, but even then, Guardian Angel is the better option most of the time. Stridebreaker into Death's Dance second and Guardian Angel third is the optimized core build for most games in 12.4. Against heavy AP, you can slot in Maw second or third depending on how bad you need the magic resist. Keystone Rune is press the attack with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand. Pick up Demolish and Bone Plating for secondaries. Shield Bow has fallen out of meta on Viego after recent nerfs, so pros have been experimenting with many different options. Trinity Force is the one most are liking right now as it provides a good mix of durability and damage. Kraken is all-out offensive and leaves you quite vulnerable, while Divine Sunderer is more durable but lacks damage, so you meet in the middle with Trinity Force. Blade of the Ruined King, Death's Dance, and Wit's End are all great second or third pickups. Viego is actually amazing into heavy AP comps right now as he can build Wit's End second and grab Maw third. After Trinity, build versatility is very high, which allows you to adapt really well to each game. For runes, grab Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Freeboots and Cosmic Insight are the optimal secondaries. Lichbane continues to be extremely overlooked on many champions and is a godlike pickup on Elise. The ability haste addition combined with Spellblade proc cooldown being lowered were massive. Elise is always looking to weave in autos and her Q can even proc Spellblade, so the value is great. You're very single target burst oriented with this setup, so prioritizing Rocket Belt over Night Harvester is the way to go. Capitalizing on Cocoon picks is amazing as the upfront burst is insanely good. For runes, you'll grab Dark Harvest with Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collector, and Relentless Hunter. Best secondaries are Triumph and Coup de Grace. Rumble Mid is an extremely snowbally champ who loves to build Magic Pen. Sork's Shoes Rush is very common, while players are sleeping on Shadow Flame as your first core item. Shadow Flame in combination with Sork's Shoes provides you with the most amount of Magic Pen early on. Health, Ability Power, and Magic Pen are really the only stats Rumble needs. Haste isn't super vital on Rumble, so skipping out on Rocket Belt to grab more early Magic Pen from Shadow Flame is very underrated. Rumble Mid is all about getting an early advantage and spreading that lead, so there's no better item combo to do that than Sorks and Shadow Flame. You'll still build Rocket Belt, but just delay it until second. First Strike is super underrated for Rumble's keystone, especially with this build. The earlier you can pick up Magic Pen, the better, as it's way more effective when the enemy has little to no magic resist. Extra gold from First Strike combined with Futures Market allows for an extremely early spike. Ahri has taken over the mid lane meta after her recent mini rework, but everyone is building her wrong. Everyone but Faker, that is, as he's one of the few abusing Lichbane as a second purchase. Everfrost Rush remains standard, but you grab the Lichbane second and can begin one-shotting without having to land a single skill shot. Since the Spellblade proc on Lichbane was lowered by 1 second, it works perfectly with Ahri's ultimate. You dash in with ult, use your combo and throw in an auto. If the enemy isn't already dead, you dash in with your second ult charge and auto to proc Spellblade once again. You have the potential to proc Spellblade multiple times throughout a skirmish, which gives it excellent value. Of course, the haste addition is also a major factor to why Lich is so much better on many mages. Best rune page for Ahri is Electrocute with Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collector, and Ultimate Hunter. Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic work great for secondaries. As a result of the recent blade changes and shield bow nerfs, Koreans are prioritizing a brand new build for Ashe. Blade of the Rune King Rush into Hurricane 2nd and Gale Force 3rd is the core. You can swap Gale Force with Hurricane depending on the game, but a Blade Rush is key. The kiting power with Blade and Gale Force is really nice for Ashe. Biggest downside to Ashe is her lack of dash, so the movement speed boost from Blade and active from Gale Force feel really nice. With Ultimate available, you're way more self-sufficient with this setup as you can kite away from dive champions much easier. Shield Bow and Wits does provide more innate tankiness, but that doesn't matter as much if you're caught out of position and likely dead anyways. It's important to grab Hail of Blades as the keystone when running this build. Blade passive provides you with bonus movement speed after 3 attacks, so the rapid autos from HOB synergize extremely well. Hail of Blades is also quite underrated in general on Ashe after Lethal Tempo was nerfed a couple times. Not only Ashe, but Twitch has also been seeing a resurgence with Blade Rush over the past couple patches. Kraken remains the most popular, but Blade is heavily outperforming it in 12.4. It's the same 2 core items we talked about for Ashe, with Blade into Hurricane 2nd. The current health damage being increased on Blade has made it a lot more viable as a first purchase. Mythic passives become more effective based on the amount of legendary items you have, so it actually makes a lot of sense to delay Kraken until 3rd. Once you complete Kraken, it's a really crisp 3-item spike that you can take over games with. Press the Attack is Twitch's best keystone with Presence of Mind, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace. Grab Free Boots and Biscuits for secondaries. A really unique Pike build has surfaced as of recent, which revolves around a Death's Dance Rush. Second item is Maw, so it's all about incorporating the recently buffed Bruiser items. Pike's kit synergizes insanely well with the passive on Death's Dance. 30% of the damage you take is delayed over 3 seconds, while champion takedowns cleanse that remaining damage and restore 175% bonus AD in health. This allows Pike to play way more aggressively, diving in for resets with ultimate and healing up any damage he's taking with every ult kill. The durability, Magic Shield, and Omnivamp from Maw ties in really nicely as you become so difficult to take down. Sure, you're losing out on a little bit of damage by not building lethality, but the overall consistency of this build and the way it synergizes with how Pike wants to play makes it super underrated. Runes are Hail of Blades with Cheap Shot, Zombie Ward, and Ultimate Hunter. Run Bone Plating and Unflinching for secondaries. Fresh off a couple really nice 12.4 buffs, Neeko is seeing great success this patch, even in the support role. The damage buff on Q is nice, but W buff is the one that can actually tilt many matchups. When playing against hook champions or any engaged supports in general, your W does a great job at countering them. If Blitz tries to hook, just react with W and disengage. Now that Neeko W is on a 16-second cooldown instead of 20 at rank 1, it really limits the window to where the enemy support can play aggressive. This in turn makes Neeko a much less vulnerable pickup as she can now perform really well into many melee supports. The poke with Q in lane is amazing, and lockdown from E gives you a surprising amount of kill threat when paired with an ADC who can follow up. Core build is a Rocket Belt or Everfrost Rush into Zanya's 2nd and Void Staff 3rd. Keystone is Glacial Augment with Perfect Timing, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Run Zombie Ward and Ingenious Hunter for secondaries. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent Challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $6.99 a month if you are serious about improving. So there you have it everyone, 10 of the most OP off-meta champs or builds for patch 12.4. Until next time, good luck in solo queue, and have a great day.